Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting and powerful episode of
Exciting
podcast. Yes, exciting. I'm your host, Dan Skoker, joined by my West Coast co-host, as always, Russell Rogers over there on the West Coast. And we are joined by very special guest this morning, Coach Kathy Mou. Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy.
Hi.
What's up, Kathy?
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here this early morning.
Yes.
Mornings, you are not an early morning person. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. But with you guys, I'm going to make things happen.
You know, I gave Kathy the warning. I said, let's do it. Let's do a 2-alarm system, set the alarm twice, 2 different, devices. Make sure we're getting up because we've had West Coasters who have not only turned us down, but have slept through their alarm. I've had them set their alarms for 5:30 p.m. We've had all kinds of excuses on the West Coast.
Actually, very recently. Yeah.
Our guests for East Coast are much better. But you're looking alive, you're looking well, you're looking healthy, strong, you're ready to go. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. So welcome. Booked you about 3 months ago. We were just talking backstage. Booked you about 3 months ago. It seemed like it lasted, like forever to get here, and then all of a sudden, just like you said, boom, it got here real quick, and next week is Christmas. That's amazing. Are you ready? Are you ready for Christmas? Are you done shopping? Are you?
Not really. I'm almost done, but
okay.
Time flies, and then you're just like, wow, it's already next week, and then you have to get the presents going. You got to wrap them. But I'm excited.
9 days.
To just hang out with family, but just not the gift giving part. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Sure.
The wrapping takes forever.
Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm a gift bag guy myself.
You're a gift bag?
Gift bag guy myself.
That is so cheesy. Oh my gosh, that's so cheesy. You got to step up your game.
Depends on the geometry of the present. That's how I look at things. If it can be wrapped in a gift bag, it goes in a gift bag. If it is rectangular or square, it goes in a box.
I feel bad for Jenna having to just open a bag.
Yeah, she lucked out. She's got a bunch of boxes this year. So.
Oh, look, it's from Amazon.
It has to stay in the box, Russ. It will. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Kathy. So you and I were connected through a mutual friend.
Yes.
And we met in person for the first time at my event, Impact Santa Cruz, back in May. That's where not only you and I met, you met Dan. And it was awesome having you there. And I knew that we needed to connect. And I knew it was this summer. I was actually, we did my podcast your podcast at my mom's house in the backyard. And that was amazing. And then said, you got to come on and be a part of ours. So we did in the fall, and boom, it's December 16th and we're here.
Yes, I know. You can't see, but I have my Christmas tree right next to me.
Okay.
It's lit up and it's beautiful, but you just can't see it.
Awesome.
So holiday spirit next to me.
Well, if there are any bags under the tree, they're from Dan.
That's right.
There is actually bags under here.
Did you cheese out of wrapping as well and put them in bags?
No, these are actually gifts from people to Jen.
Okay. Well, that's acceptable. That's acceptable. We can't control that. We can only control what we do. Yes. So, Kathy, we're so excited to have you on Dual Coast. This is amazing. Do you know we are at the very tail end of 1 year being on this podcast?
Oh,
how long have you been doing your podcast?
Over 2 years. I think 2.5 years almost. So
congratulations.
Thank
Fantastic.
you. Congratulations to you guys. Already a year. I remember when you guys were just talking about it, and then it's boom.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. And then
we
you guys
were sitting
so well. You guys are doing so well. So that's amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were sitting in the lobby of a hotel in Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah.
And we were chatting it up, just starting the details of, and this was in September last year.
Yeah.
And we were 4 months out, and then all of a sudden 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, and we're like, wow, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Yep. So it was a fun launch with Frank Seppi, and then boom, here we are.
Yeah.
Almost a year in the books.
That's exciting. And I get
It
to be a
is.
part of this. Like I get
I
to be
know.
part of your guys' journey. So thank you. It's so cool to see. Like honestly, I love seeing people's journeys and then like how you go from the very beginning and then you just keep growing. It's just so cool to see.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing.
No,
Yeah.
thanks for being a part
It
of it.
is. And you know, connecting with people, isn't it great?
Yes.
And just having conversations just like this.
Yeah, it is. It's actually really rare to be able to find like-minded people and to be able to have like these conversations and just to have fun. Like
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's early in the morning for me. Like now I'm super awake, I'm energized, you know,
Let's
like people
go.
either give you energy or people take away your energy, right? And so
Yeah.
you want to surround yourself with people that give you energy, that lift you up, that bring you up, you know? That's like
Yes.
what matters. And you guys do that. You guys like spread positivity. You guys are like, you know, have amazing energy. And it's just like I can feel it.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, there are no Grinches on this
That's
podcast.
right.
That's for sure.
It's that power that dual coast exudes.
Yeah, that's true. You're taking from both of the coasts and then bringing it together. You know, that energy is powerful.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, Kathy, you're an empowerment coach, you're a card
Yes.
reader, you have your podcast.
Mhm.
Tell the audience a little bit more in depth about who Kathy Mou is. Tell us.
Yes. Yeah, I am an empowerment coach. I actually never thought I would be a coach, to be honest, because I didn't even know it was a thing. Okay. Like growing up as an Asian American woman, like, you know, my parents always just wanted me to like either be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, right? Like one of
Yeah.
those things. And so during COVID, like coaching kind of blew up. And then my whole life, people always came to me for advice. And I was like, so interesting, you know, and I always love giving advice. I'm always here to listen. I just loved it. It was just so natural. And then coaching became a thing. And someone was like, you should be a coach. And I was like, oh, okay, let me look into it. And then it ended me being an empowerment coach where I want to teach people about their powers. It just lit me up when I talked about these things because it was with my own journey through infertility that I learned how I had to give my self love and care and to give myself power again, right? Because I felt like when you go through infertility, you feel less than, and it makes you feel like you're not a whole person in general because you can't carry a child for the family, or you know, it just really was a really dark place in my time at that moment. But going through that journey though, it made me really come out of my depression and anxiety, and I learned to truly love myself and empower myself through like getting the help that I needed, getting mental help, physical, emotional, and then it made me find out about spiritual health as well. Because you have to tap into something higher, like to hope that, you know, whatever you're doing is the right path into motherhood. And that was what was, you know, what I was looking for. And so through my journey, I ended up going through IVF, having a miscarriage, but then I actually had my daughter naturally after having that miscarriage, which after the confirmation of that, like I just knew like I was on the right path, and everything that I had to learn from that just ended up, yeah, getting me to where I am now. And so that spiritual piece was a huge piece that during those times I saw a lot of angel numbers. Like, to be honest, I never knew what angel numbers were, but I kept seeing synchronicities during my infertility stage. Like, kept seeing 1111, 222 on my phone. And I was like, why do I keep seeing similar numbers? And it was like months, guys, like months. And then I was like, all right, let me Google this. And then I was like, what are these synchronicities? And they're like, they're angel numbers. They're here to like tell signs and messages. And I was like, what? Like, you know, I was not very spiritual. I wasn't. I grew up being Buddhist, and we did a lot of like rituals growing up, you know, like traditional things, like, you know, praying to the ancestors, etc., like that. Like I knew there was things greater, but I didn't really tap into spirituality like I do now. And so, and now that part of the angel numbers came to me, and then that led me into doing card readings. So like it was just a journey. So everything kind of just landed on my lap pretty much. So like the empowerment coaching kind of just landed in my directions. And then, yeah, I ended up doing what I do, which I love. And then the card reading was funny because actually the deck that I got, my first deck ever, was gifted from a friend. She's like, this, I just thought of you. Like angel numbers, these cards, I just had to get it for you. And then like 2 other friends gave me 2 other decks. So then this is how I ended up doing what I do now. And so that journey led me into doing card readings with my coaching, which is, yeah, something very, very different, but it's like something that I do and I love. And I just know that I was meant to do it. And my journey led me to doing what I do. And it's just exciting and I love it. And I truly believe everything is meant to be. And all the hardships that you go through are lessons for you to get closer to your life purpose or your path or whatever it is that mission on earth is to do.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Amazing.
Yeah. What happened? How did the podcast come about?
Oh, yes. I totally forgot about my podcast. Thank you so much. The podcast came about because I'm actually, English is my second language. So I grew up speaking Mandarin. And so I wanted to be better at speaking. And so podcast was a great way for me to practice speaking and gaining confidence with myself.
That's beautiful.
And it was so awkward. I really felt so uncomfortable doing it like the first couple of times, but 2 years in now, I'm like a natural, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but the randomest thing though, a really rare piece that I think I've said in my own podcast episode, but as a kid, I think I was like 10 or 11. And I remember being in the car and I had like this download of like, someday I'm either going to be on the radio or I just like saw a microphone of some sort. And it was just like a little image that popped up and I never knew what that was. It was so weird, but till this day, I still remember it clearly. And then that also led me into wanting to do the podcast because I was like, at a young age, there was something there. And I followed that intuition and wanting to practice to be better at speaking. And so that's how my podcast came about. And then, yeah, the name title too, Ignite Your Power. It, for some reason, again, I was just kind of like going through names of what I would like it to call, but this one stood out, like Ignite Your Power. It goes hand in hand with my empowerment coaching. So everything aligns, yeah, it's just beautiful to see all the alignment and all the synchronicities if you truly allow it. And
that's amazing.
Right.
Yeah. There was a friend of mine who passed a couple of years ago. She wrote a book with, I believe it was like 19 different ladies, and they all contributed a chapter. And it was, I believe it was Ignite Your Power for women over 60. And so it was pretty cool. But, her heart just still lives within me. And because she was just so passionate, I only knew her for eight months before she passed. And, but, it's a part of my story. So igniting your power, it's such a beautiful message. So, the power is lit within you, and you are a light. And thank you for, your heart and just getting to know you a little bit more over this, past year. It's been beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. And igniting your power is just so important. I just never knew that I had so much power within me because you grow up believing certain things or believing you're less than. And especially in my culture, right? Like you're supposed to be the minority citizen. You're not supposed to speak up. You're kind of just like in the background, just doing what you need to do just to be successful. And so having to learn what I've been learning and to overcome all of those beliefs and to overcome like what I thought was right is so wrong. You're right. And to be able to truly ignite my power and then to help people see it in themselves is just so beautiful because we all have our own power. Really.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we just have to overcome those certain beliefs that was taught to us at a young age. And it doesn't mean that it's right, right? Like you can
Yeah.
always change anything. And growing up, I thought, oh, this is who I am and this is how it is going to be. I can't change, you know? And then after like you start truly igniting your power, you start meeting people and you grow, you truly see that you can change into anything that you truly want, or you can make anything happen when you truly want to make it happen, you know? And when I started seeing that, I was like, oh my gosh, right? Like going through infertility and having a kid, like that literally is a miracle in itself, right? Because like, oh, I want to make a baby and you can just make a baby. It's kind of like God or higher source has to help along with that, right? To give you that. And giving me that example was like, whoa, like if you truly set the intention on something and you take the action after the intention and having that clarity, like I want this and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there, it's going to happen, right? And I tested it out. And a lot of women struggle with infertility right now, which is another wild thing. Like I feel like our generation of women, we have so much stress and our bodies are not the same as how our parents grew up. And it's like relearning a lot of things. And I truly believe it's because like, obviously the healthcare system too, like giving us birth control at such a young age, it just really ruins and makes you disconnect from yourself, from your body. And so a lot of women have to relearn how to connect to themselves, right? Like connect to truly like their body again, listening to it. And that was a whole journey in itself too that I had to go through. And again, that's igniting your power again, right? And women's bodies are so different. They're so powerful. And again, I feel like the society or however the healthcare system like takes away women's power, and we're here to relearn all of that, which is very interesting that I've noticed.
Dan, you're in the medical field. What's your take on that?
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I totally agree with that, honestly. I think that we treat things inappropriately at young ages sometimes, and I think that's absolutely true. And I think we don't look at, this is a little bit different, but I think we don't look at root causes of a lot of things in medicine. I think we try to go after the quick fixes, the medication fixes, the easy way out, so to speak. And I think we don't look at the root causes. We don't look at the diets. We don't look at the habits of people. We don't look at the exercise routines. And like Kathy was saying, you know, I think girls at a young age are treating, you know, they're treated hormonally for certain reasons like acne and things like that. And then they kind of get caught up in that and they stay with those medications. And then it's hard to get out of that realm. I think that's what ends up happening with a lot of young girls, honestly. And like Kathy was saying, I think infertility has kind of progressed itself over the past probably, I'd say 15, maybe 10 to 15 years, so to speak. Yeah. And I think that's something you start to see nowadays also because of, like I was just saying, diet, routines, stress, I think is one of the bigger ones, because I think stress is completely overlooked in medicine. I say this all the time. And, you know, stress causes heart disease. It causes hormonal imbalances. It causes metabolic issues. And I think that's something that's completely overlooked because people go, okay, you have high cholesterol, you have cardiac issues, and say, okay, we're going to treat it with X, Y, and Z medications. But we're not going to realize that stress caused all these issues. You know, we're going to mask the idea of the stress. We're going to treat you for the underlying pathology or whatever it is, but we're not going to get to the root. And I think that happens with a lot of diagnoses. That's my opinion.
So from a stress level, you know, it work related, right? Because, you know, when you say 10 to 15 years, obviously the empowerment of women and women in the work field of today, you know, many more leadership positions. Is that all attributed to that, do you think?
Yeah, I would say so, honestly, because Kathy, correct me if what you think differently here, but I think women probably have taken on more stress over the last 30 to 40 years than they probably have previous to that. I mean, because they're in these high level positions more so than ever. I think they're, you know, seated in the CEO position, so to speak. And I think they've probably taken on more stress, and that kind of parlays down, so to speak. And the other thing I'm going to Yeah, and I think the other thing I'm going to bring up here is, a little bit controversial because we're on it right now, is social media. Social media plays a big role in how women see other women and how men see other men. We're all guilty of it. Everybody's going to be on Instagram at some point after this podcast today. You're going to be scrolling through, you're going to look at other people's pages, and you're going to say, hey, I'm envious of that guy's car. I'm envious of that girl's job. I'm envious of this person's position financially, whatever. And I think that creates a lot of stress amongst the young girl population too, the young female population, because they look at all these other women, Instagram models, whatever it be, and they say, hey, I want that life. I want that financial success. I want this. And that creates a huge realm of stress, in my opinion, in a lot of people.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
What do you got on that, Kathy?
Yeah, I totally agree with what Dan was saying. We do have a lot more stress, right? Balancing like a career, balancing family, balancing all these things, that it can be overwhelming. And so again, like as women, like we usually put others before ourselves. And so again, if you're going through infertility, like you've been probably depleted. You're probably depleted of nutrients, minerals, right? Your stress, it just affects your hormones. It's just everything. And right, like what Dan was saying, the root cause. And it's usually the little things that we downplay or don't talk about, but those are the most important, like moving, right? Like it's so important. And eating really nutrient dense foods, taking care of your stress levels, right? Like even doing meditation will truly calm your nervous system.
Sure.
But people don't talk about these things. Like your movement rests, Move 365. It's amazing. Like getting people out to walk with families. Like that's so important. And that's what I noticed too. When I started adding walking and going outside, that actually helped with my mental state and my physical state. And I truly believe that was a big part of me getting pregnant, because we're so sedentary and we're always inside, like what Dan was saying, we're always on our phones or we're always comparing, etc. But if you're out without devices, you're connecting to, other energies or higher source. And, like that's so important. Like these little things are actually crucial in healing and to helping yourself. But yet we're doing the exact opposite of what we need to do. Which is wild. And so this is why, again, I feel like all of these health issues come about because we're not taught. We're not taught. And so that's why I love helping women or people ignite their power to truly tell them these are simple resources or tools that you can use or do. It doesn't take a lot. But if you know that these little simple things are so powerful, why not do them?
Yeah.
Right? And not look for the quick, easy fixes, because they never work, right? Just like the diet, just like dieting, it never works, right? It will work maybe for 2 weeks. And then you're going to go back to your old habits. And then you're going to go back to like gaining weight again. And then you're going to go into a cycle of negativity of like, oh my God, I can't do this. Not good enough. Usually like you just go down a spiral of like negative mindset about yourself because you're like, oh, it didn't work. It's too extreme. That's not how we function. We don't go from A to Z. We take every little baby steps to get to, right, A to Z. You would take A, B, C, D, E, right? Like, think about it. It's just extreme. So I love teaching people how to do simple little tasks that really, truly change your life. And honestly, walking every day for 30 minutes has really, really affected me in a positive way. And people are like, oh, you're just walking? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
All you have to do is walk. It's that simple. Why do you have to make it complicated?
Yeah.
Why
we
do you
so
make
good.
We say it all the time, but I think movement is one of the most underlooked treatment programs that you can utilize, honestly. And I mean, we've said it countless times on this podcast, and I'll say it again today, is that all you have to do is really get outside. And Russ is a big fan of disconnecting. And I totally agree with that, because this is one of the biggest problems around is your cell phone. Honestly, people looking at it, you're scrolling down, you're looking at it. If you look, and I always say this to everybody at work all the time, I want to look at everybody's postural issues in the next 20 years because everybody is looking down at their phones.
This is their back. This is their back.
Exactly. In the next 20 years, because everybody's looking at their phones like this every single day, and everybody's going to be walking around like this in the next 20 years. Evolutionary wise, we're probably going to be walking around like that in 150 years. But, it's incredible to me. And I think movement is like one of the most overlooked things because all you have to do is disconnect for a little while a day. If you look at some of these people, I follow a lot of people on Instagram and stuff like that who even will unplug their Wi-Fi systems at night. They will just turn everything off and just disconnect completely for a couple hours before bed. Glasses on, red light, no Wi-Fi, nothing like that. And it's probably one of the healthiest things you could do for your mind, honestly.
Yeah.
Aside from getting outside, walking, exercising, stuff like that, just disconnect a little bit because, like I said, everybody's just tied to this thing, and you just scrolling and scrolling, looking at things, and just stressing out, and that's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Well,
Kathy, I want you to touch with our audience today on mental health issues.
Okay, I love it. I love this topic. Mental health issues are truly a huge, huge problem. And
yes.
Everybody's dealing with some type of mental issue, honestly. And most of it comes from, again, like comparing and feeling less than and not worthy, right? And then when you get to a mental state of unworthiness, and this I talk about as a low vibe, like a low vibration where you have low energy, you just feel like you're not yourself, right? And that's just like, it's because you're lacking a lot of self-love for yourself. And you're not doing the things or creating energy or space or the people around you to help with your mental health. So during my infertility days, sorry, my throat is kind of, but going through infertility, I really went through depression because looking back, I felt less than, I felt unworthy, right? And I felt like the world was against me. It's the victim mentality that a lot of people get stuck in, right? Like the world's against me, everything's against me. And when you're stuck in that mental state, that's so low vibrational. And of course, the universe speaks the energy that you put out and that you believe, right?
Yeah.
So if you feel less than and unworthy, guess what? The universe is going to show you that because that's what you're expecting. That's what you're seeing. That's what you're seeking. And so with that mental state, it was hard, right? You get stuck in the victim mentality. And I want to talk about the victim mentality is because it's a narrative that is not true, that we make up in our mind, right? It comes from within us. It's the narrative that we speak to ourselves. And it gets you into a mental state of negativity, of depression, anxiety, overwhelm, right? All these low negative things. So how do we come out of it, right? Starting to learn to love yourself. Truly, that's it. And so getting the mental help that you need, like I got therapy during that time. It didn't really help that much, but at least I was taking action, right? Having the intention to get better. Again, I'm going to go back to intention equals taking the action to get the results. So I was doing everything that I could. I was like even going to acupuncture, right? Like trying to help and figure out what I needed to do. But when you start taking action, getting the help that you need, you start feeling better mentally because you're like, I don't feel like I feel less of a victim of the world or the narrative that I'm speaking about. And mental issues come from just within us, right? It's not like what other people are saying. It's what you truly believe about yourself. And so during those dark times in my life, I'm like, whoa, I was depressed, which I never thought I would be, but it's because I made the narrative up. I wasn't empowered enough. I didn't love myself enough. And now I'm like, not, right? I'm the complete opposite. It's because I love myself. I'm doing the work, right? I set the intention of, I'm going to do the work every single day so I don't go back to that dark period in my life of unworthiness, of like, things aren't going to happen, right? And like, I've had 2 miscarriages in my life. And the last one, last September, it was sad, but it's something that I've been through already. And I was like, how do I overcome? How do I take the lesson the first time around that I went through and then bring it into this second time, overcome it faster, and then again, intention to get the results. And guess what? Now I'm pregnant again. So it's like, setting the intention is so important, and like believing that it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You just don't know when. And that's the beautiful part of having your power and knowing, right?
Mhm.
And it's like not being stuck in the victim mentality state, because we can always all feel sorry for ourselves. But what does that do for you? What does that do for your life? Honestly, crying about what's not working out for you. Why don't you shift that mindset to
Zero.
what is working out for you?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's the universe is either working for you or against you. You're choosing it, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why don't you choose to empower yourself to make sure things happen the way you want it? Because you are truly in control of it. We are creators. We are creators of our reality. And that's the power that you have. And so your mental state is so important, because we actually, right, our reality. So our thoughts create our reality. So if your thoughts are so empowering, so powerful, so loving, guess what? Your universe or your reality is going to be that way. But if you're stuck in the victim mentality, like life sucks, and in this negative mental state, guess what? The universe is going to show you that. So creating the thoughts is so important, having empowering thoughts. And it really starts from truly loving yourself to get you out of that mental state of depression and anxiety and the victim mentality, right? It
Yes.
really is. It's not as, I mean, sometimes it depends, like, right, if you have bipolar, or if you're diagnosed with like a mental issue, it could be a little trickier, because you would need some medication and whatnot. But truly, the people who have mental issues, though, it's a lot of lack of self-love. That's what I noticed going through my own depression and anxiety, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
once you notice the patterns, though, and what gets you into that state of negativity, it's just all learning, right? Like,
Yeah.
why am I in this state? What caught me here? What happened?
Yeah.
And then
You
figuring it out.
you and I have a mutual friend and who struggles, with mental hurdles, mental challenges.
Yeah.
And I have noticed, I would say in the past 3 to 4 months, that she, is doing a lot more outdoor activity, doing a
Yeah.
lot more walking. And what would you say has been her mental state as doing more of this outside exercise? What have you noticed?
Dude,
Because you're a lot closer than I am.
yes. Her mental state is so much better. Like, she could be worse off, but I told her that if you go for a walk and connecting to nature, and I pulled some cards for her, and her angels and guides told her, like, you really do need to connect to nature. And, when you go for walks, like, her energy is so much better after she goes for these walks. It just proves to you and or shows you that this is an example of how, when you go for a walk and do something simple, it really can just change the state of your energy, or change the state of your mental state. And again, it's like getting out into nature, walking, and connecting to Mother Earth. Like, I know it sounds a little woo, but honestly, we need that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's an example of, we're so disconnected, but when she's inside the house, right, you just go into a spiral of negativity. But when you're out, you kind of get distracted. You see things, and like, you feel the fresh air and you feel the sun. It's like you just get these different energies and feelings. And so it helps shift your mental state in a positive way. So definitely movement. It's just so important. And like I told you, when I was going through infertility, like walking was one of my things that I had to do. And that was such a powerful, easy tool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Let me show you the reason why I go outside. This was last night.
Wow, that's gorgeous.
Okay. Look at that. Is that incredible or what? I mean, it's just like you get outside and every day is different. Every day is different.
Oh.
The weather changes, the birds in the air, right? The cold, fresh air. I know like on the East Coast, it's a lot colder than it is here, but it's just, the smelling the rain, right? Walking in the snow. I was talking to my daughter over the weekend and they just got fresh snow on the East Coast. And what were the boys doing? They were gearing up to go outside and play. And the whole family, all 5 of them go outside and play in the snow for an hour or two. And then they come in and they, have warm hot chocolate. And, it's just, there's just beauty in it and what it does to enlighten and refresh our soul, which is what we need on a daily basis. Not once a week, not twice a week. We need it every day. Even if it's just a short period of time, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, thank you for sharing all of that. That's just so beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a fair amount of fresh snow on the ground on the East Coast.
Nice.
That is
right outside your door.
Right outside the door. I don't get to play in it so much as move it around these days and get it out of the way. But but yeah, Kathy, I just want to touch back on something you talked about a little bit earlier, and that's self-empowerment. So you started the podcast, you became a coach, and you see all these people and you have these clients and patients, and you speak to them on a daily basis. Some people may have a problem embodying this consistently, this self-empowerment consistency. Do you see any common patterns, or do you see anything in common between your clients of internal blocks that they may have? Something that's holding a lot of people back. And how could somebody who's listening this morning recognize that block that they may have when they're unknowingly giving away their power?
Oh, this is a really good question. Thank you for asking. It truly is what I see. The main pattern is not knowing their power. They're so disconnected from themselves. And so what I do with my empowerment coaching is to consistently sit down with them every week to tap into asking certain questions. Like I will ask a lot of why questions. Like, why are you feeling this way? Or why is this coming up? Or why is this making you feel in a negative state? Right? Like just asking, and people don't know. They're just like, I don't know. Right? Like people live through life kind of like a zombie. Like they're so disconnected from the emotions. They're so disconnected from reality in a sense, right? Like they're living through their phone again. And when you're so disconnected from yourself, that's why you can't even understand or know who you are. And that's why a lot of people are not confident in themselves, right? Or they lack a lot of self-love again, because they don't even know who they are, which is really sad. And the main thing is people, all my clients are just so disconnected from their power and who they are. They don't even know who they are. And so when I do the work and I sit down with them, they're like, holy smokes, like, yeah, I didn't know this belief actually triggered like my agitation or irritation, or triggered me to think negatively or feel a certain way, right? But like when we come down and sit down with yourself, truly just even 1 hour of just sitting with yourself, trying to understand yourself, you know yourself much better.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's just that powerful. So if you don't have a coach, you can sit down with yourself and journal, or, like just sitting down with yourself and listening to yourself, or just getting really curious, like kind of asking yourself. I know it might be a little crazy, or it might sound a little crazy, but you can ask like, oh, why do I love coffee so much? And then just like understand why you love it. Just like little things like that you can just practice on a daily basis,
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even know what they like. To be honest, they think they like a certain thing because society has told them that they like it. But do they truly like it? Or no, most people will be like, actually, I don't like it. I just do it because everybody said so. Or
Yeah.
like, I don't know, it's just normal for other people to do it, so I do it too.
Sure.
Right? It's like the influence, you get so influenced by outer that we just are so disconnected from ourselves.
Yeah.
And I was like this. Like, I'm gonna give you guys an example, okay? Like, honestly, I never knew how much I love flowers. In my head, I was like, ugh, I hate when like my husband used to buy flowers and like it's such a waste of money, blah, 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 right? I said those narratives. But when I started to go for a walk, like a daily walk, and I left my phone at home for the first time, and mind you, like I did this walk like 2 months with my phone in my hand, but I don't know, for some reason I saw this challenge online. It was like, just leave it at home and just see what happens. Dude, there was flowers everywhere and I didn't even notice for the longest time. And I was like, wow, like that just gave me an aha, like, oh my God, I'm so disconnected. Like that's terrible, right? At least I know it.
Yeah.
And then I started feeling like lighter, calmer, going on these walks and just like literally tapping into like the little miracles in life. And then I noticed that I truly love flowers. Like they bring me so much joy, peace, and happiness. And I didn't know that about myself, right? But see, we don't take time to know about these little things about ourselves that we truly would love or care or appreciate about, right? Like
Yeah.
giving your time, giving yourself that time is so crucial. It's so important.
Yep.
And the more you give yourself time, the more you're going to love yourself, the more you're going to love life. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
The more disconnected you are, the more you're going to hate life because you start resenting and hating everything because you're so not aligned to who you are. You don't even know who you are. Right?
That's right.
No, it's absolutely right. It's absolutely right. I feel like people just kind of conform to what society tells them, like you said. You know, listen, and I'm going to shout out Aaron Wexler real quick because he's listening. But
let's go, Aaron.
Fear
Wex.
of other people's opinions is something he brought up to us. FOPO, which I had learned that day when we were speaking to him, and that is absolutely the truest statement because everybody's worried about what other people think. You know, of them, of what they are, how they look to other people, as opposed to being more concerned about yourself. You're more worried about what others around you are thinking about you. And I think that's a huge problem because, like you said, everybody's kind of conforming because they don't want other people to judge them.
Yeah.
They want to just, you know, say, okay, everybody's doing this. Everybody does this. I got to do it too. And it's never, well, I don't really want to do that. That's not me. That's going to disempower me. And nobody really says that to themselves. I don't probably think.
Yes.
And I don't think people think that way. Like, you know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go there, but I don't want to be friends with those people. Those are the wrong people to be friends with. But, you know, they're my friends. You know, I have to conform to that. I feel like that's completely overlooked. Like, you know, it's interesting. Shout out Wex. I know you're listening right now. I see you.
That'll baby Wex. Love it. Kathy, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So the question I have is actually one of our friends, Sally Fu, I think you met at the event, you know, and it's amazing when you're talking about Asian women and stuff like that, because, you know, prior to you, I had like this many like Asian friends. And now I have Sally and Danny and Linda, and it's like, you know, and I absolutely love it. So going forward, next September, we're doing an event, Impact Minneapolis today. And those three ladies that I just named, Sally, Linda, and Danny, are all on my team. And so I've got this Asian power in Minneapolis that is just amazing. These women are smart, they're intelligent, they're high powered, they're connected, they're doing great things. And I'm going to ask you this question because Sally made a statement to me a few weeks back. And she said, my greatest fear, okay, is 1 year from now being in the same place I am today.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, going forward in 2026, what are you looking to do to empower yourself, to grow yourself, and to become greater than where you are right now?
Question. It is true. It is fearful to be like stuck and not growing, but like what Sally said, it is true. But what I want to do for myself is continue to grow and to truly love myself, like fully living the BS way. I guess I never talked about this, but this is a concept that came about Yeah, this was another download. Like I was literally having coffee and I was just looking outside into nature, and this download came to me and was like, you need to teach people about living the BS way, or a BS life, which is the bliss soft life, not the BS that you're thinking. And it's
I know you
truly,
were going there, Dan.
Yeah, I was.
and the funny thing is, I'm very punny and I'm very funny. I guess people don't know that side about me. All right. They always see the serious or more, like coach side of me, but I'm a very, very fun, punny person or silly person.
Mm-hmm.
And so when this download came to me, I just laughed. I know it sounds a little crazy, but it truly is living a bliss soft life, which is being in your power. And when you know your power, life is so much easier. Like it's just so much more blissful. You're less stressed, you're less overwhelmed, and you truly bask in like the beauty and like the greatness of what life truly has to offer. You're like in this high vibe gratitude state, and life is just soft, right? It's like the opposite of the hustle life that we've been taught. It's not living that way. Like I no longer want to live that way. It is just so exhausting. It's a lot of pushing, and it's a lot of like not being in alignment, right? It's like very disconnecting from who we truly are. And it's just like taking the time for yourself, like going for a walk, meditation, like very calm things that we need to do in our life. And I feel like people need more of that in their day to day, instead of like always on the go, the to-do lists, right? Like we're always in a fast-paced environment, and a lot of people are used to like doing something. And if they're not doing something, they feel weird, or like something's off. But sitting in silence or sitting and not doing anything is what we should get used to doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why being out in nature, Russ, like going for a walk, yes, you're doing something, but mentally, like you're actually connected to something greater. Like, you're connected to nature, and that's what we need. We need to connect to the greater instead of like connecting to your phone or whatever that's actually taking away your power and putting you in a negative state, right? Like, so living the BS way is what I truly want to embody, and I want to be able to live that way like all the time. And it's a struggle because that's how I grew up, is the exact opposite. I lived in a very fast-paced environment. My parents owned a fast food restaurant, like an American fast food restaurant. My life has been fast-paced my whole life. Like I've never learned to just slow down and to sit. And so now I'm trying to teach people to do the opposite, and I'm learning and going on that journey along, right, with everybody.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I've seen the benefits. I truly see the benefits of the clients and the people around me and myself, like how living this way is actually so much better than what we were taught.
So good.
Amazing.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that was Kathy, we'll probably close out with this one, but we like to ask guests a question at the end of the podcast when we have a statement, but we usually ask you about it. And that statement is, wellness is not about perfection, it's about progress. And what would you say that statement means to you?
Oh, wellness is not about, yeah, it really is. It's not about perfection. It's not about having this perfect routine. Dude, I've been on I've been working out since 25, or like having a real routine, and it keeps changing. So it's just actually doing it is the most important. And it doesn't have to even be perfect. As long as you're doing it, that's all that matters. I've been changing it up. At 25, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to the gym and lift weights and do all that. And then I went from lifting weights to like doing HIIT workouts, and HIIT workouts to like yoga. And then it's a journey. Just go with whatever makes you feel good at the time. Why does it have to be so perfect? There is no perfect. Nothing is ever perfect. So there is no perfect routine. What is perfect for you? What does it make you feel? Does it make you feel good? And dude, you don't have to run. Everybody's like, you should be running. Why? Why do I want to run? I hate running. I'm going to avoid running. I will lift weights because I'd rather do that than run. Don't force me to run. Why are you forcing me to do something that I don't like? That's the thing is I want people to figure out what their workout routine is. What do you like? Do that. It's better than doing nothing at all, right? Because when you force yourself to do something like, oh, I have to go for a mile run, and you hate it so much, you're not going to do it. But if you find something that you love, like even just say a sport that brings you happiness and joy, it's better that you move than not moving at all.
Yeah.
So, and it's just accept that it's a journey. Like, you know, it's never going to progress unless you're like a professional athlete or something, and then you need to get to a certain goal. But if you're just like a regular person like me who just wants to just be healthy and happy, right? There is no perfect.
Yeah.
I'm changing it up. Now I'm doing Pilates. Like, what in the world? Like, I went from lifting weights, like 25-pound weights, to like now I'm doing Pilates. Like, you know, who would have known? But I'm just going with the flow, whatever makes me feel good at the time and whatever fits into my life at that time.
Sure.
Right.
You know, if we gave our episodes a title, I would call this the straight shooter. You know, Kathy is just the straight shooter. Do what makes you feel good. Do it. Just move. Just do something. You know, there's nothing perfect. I love it. That's great. And she moved into the camera as she said that. She moved right in. She embraced it. It was empowerment right there. Igniting it.
To the point with Kathy Mou.
Oh, man.
Hilarious.
Real quick.
You know, you should get up more early, more often, you know? This is, you know.
Yeah, I noticed that when I do wake up early, I love it. It's just the waking up part is what gets to me. You know? Like, I understand the hardest part, though, is to get yourself up. Everybody says that. But once you're up, like, you know, it's great.
Don't snooze. No snooze on those ones.
Kathy.
Where can people find you?
Where can people find me? I'm on Instagram at Kathy.Mou, M-O-U. And then my website is www.kathymou.com. I'm on YouTube. My channel is Coach Kathy Mou there. And TikTok is Kathy Mou as well. And Facebook, Kathy Mou. So I'm around. I'm out there.
Yeah. Please give her a follow.
Yes.
And if you need some coaching, right there.
There you go.
Kathy Mou.
Yes.
It's been amazing spending today with you. And I've been looking forward to this time. And I know her friend Michelle, she's like, I can't wait for this day, you know, so she better be listening. So thank you for all your thoughts, your heart, you know, I mean, really, it was very, very meaningful for me. And what you said to our audience and people that are going to be listening from these days forward, you know, it's just, it's so good. It's so enriching. And you're just a little smarty and with a punch, little smarty with a punch. And
yes.
I appreciate you very much, Kathy. I really do. Yeah, I really do.
Too. Like, honestly, like I said in the beginning, you have to surround yourself with like-minded people or people that raise your energy up. And you guys do that. And so it's a privilege for me to be here this early with you guys. And you guys make people feel good. And yeah, it's just what you guys stand for is truly amazing. So you guys are doing great things in the world. And I already can see it and feel the energy. And that's why I'm so energized this early in the morning. Like,
let's go.
Kathy,
thank you, Kathy,
for being here this morning. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. Please check us out at all social media handles at Dual Coast Podcast. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Spotify. We'll see everybody next week. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great day.